Hi, I just finished therapy. So, I just finished my last session with my therapist who I've been seeing for 2 years. I'm sorry, my nose is like super stuffed. I had asked her, like, hey, when did I first start seeing you? And she told me we started seeing each other back in July 15th to be exact, of 2023. And I'm now realizing that it's like the 30th, so we've been seeing each other for a little over 2 years, but we just had our last session.
All right. So I recorded that bit of audio around 2 months ago on July 30th, and I'm post therapy. And looking back at it now, dude, I'm kind of like wondering, should I fucking go back? I don't know. The last couple months, like the last 2 months, have been really fucking insane for me, and I am trying to remember a lot of the things I do remember a lot of the things I learned in therapy, and trying to take deep breaths, remember my coping skills, and trying my absolute best to stay present and stay level-headed and just be here. But I do want to talk about therapy as a whole. I also want to go over some things that I really took from therapy, and also some of my goals that I had 2 years ago when I first started. So I remember, first off, my therapist, Queen, if you're listening to this, I fucking love you. I love you so goddamn much. I'll say I've had many therapists in my life. I've had some really, really bad therapists. I once had a guy who I was supposed to be seeing, and our very first session, this asshole fucking cancels on me, and he uses the excuse like, oh no, it was supposed to be this day or whatever. I'm like, girl, please, come on. No, you're wrong, whatever. Whenever I did start seeing him, which was probably for like about a good like 4 months, I was venting to him about like stuff with like my family at the time, and rather than like trying to like understand and listen to like what I was saying, he was speaking from a point of like well, his opinions, like his personal opinions, and I'm like, no, we're not doing that. It's therapy. You're supposed to be helping me, homie. Come on. But anyways, so the last 2 years I was in therapy with a woman. I really want to name her, but she's such an amazing human being. And out of the many therapists that I have had, she has been the only one that I have made the most progress with. And she said the same thing about me as well. And I really appreciate her for that. A couple of the things that I wanted to go over in therapy when I first started 2 years ago, it was a really bad time. I remember going up to her and telling her, I want to be able to not spiral. I also wanted my past trauma, to not affect me anymore. And I didn't want to be crippled by my anxiety. And I wrote these notes down actually, because when we finished our last session, I asked her, like, tell me what we went over on our first day. So this is exactly what I told her. And I feel really good about it. It feels really fucking good. So one, being able to not spiral. Here's the thing. I'm not perfect. And I accept that. I also accept that life after, therapy is not meant to be forever. And these lessons and these things that I'm learning are still a work in progress and will always be a work in progress for the rest of my life. And I accept that. We love to hear it. It's good. So being able not to spiral. Another fun fact about me is that I have ADHD, attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, to be specific. I'm going to keep saying, y'all, this is my first podcast. Shut the fuck up. Whatever. So when I started therapy 2 years ago, I had this really bad tendency to overthink things. And a lot of that did stem from my ADHD. I'm pretty sure it does. It makes a lot of sense to me. I always explain to my therapist, I feel like my body is like a vessel and I'm living and functioning. Like I'm in my head. Like I live in my mind. Like the world around me is not real. No, it is real. Like I'm aware of what I'm doing, but I feel like I, as a person, am only in my head. I would tend to disassociate a lot. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, I'd be like in the car with my boyfriend and we'd be having a wonderful time, even like in good times, bad times, like literally at any point we're just in the car, my mind would just start going to the darkest places. I noticed that my brain would often go to like past traumas, random things from like random embarrassing moments from middle school. And I'm not just saying that, oh, these mean quirky. Like, no, shut the fuck up. No, I'm starting to sound like HRH collection. Um, but my mind would often go to embarrassing moments like in my past, middle school, random weird memories. A lot of it was very trauma based. And it always put me in such a lethargic, sad mood. And when I would disassociate and like revert back to my trauma and like my past traumas and all my past awful experiences, I would just get so drained and so fucking tired. It was so exhausting. So exhausting, dude. My social battery was always like really, really low. I was overly emotional to a crippling degree. I still am. Just being honest. I'm not. I'm still really fucking emo. Another thing that I did tell her as well that I wanted to work on was I didn't want to be crippled by my anxiety. And I was so fucking crippled. I lived so strictly in my mind. My emotions ran me. Fair to say I was just a living emotional fucking being. Like I was so overly emotional. I was very in my head. I overanalyzed every critical thing. People would say like specific things, just little things here and there, and I would overthink it. I wouldn't hear from like a friend for like a day or two, and then I would overthink, oh, are they mad at me? Do they hate me? Did I say something wrong? I was very in my head. A lot of this, I believe, comes from like my undiagnosed ADHD at the time, and also just having potential rejection sensitive dysphoria, which, you know, it just makes me even more fucking emotional and really in my head a lot. So this is where I started from, going into therapy and being with her. I I don't think I've ever felt so at ease, been able to talk about my experiences so candidly and so openly without fear of being judged. I do have this thing, and I noticed when I would talk to her about things like, I just feel like such an awful person. I feel so awful. I feel like it's so in my head. I just think I'm a piece of shit. And being able to hear, like, you're not though, factually, you're not. One of the biggest things I learned being with her was separating fact from reality. And I still think about that almost on the daily. It's something I really have to keep up with, because when my feelings are so goddamn intense and really, really almost trying to cripple me, I have to remember, okay, Eric, you feel this way. You feel all the things. No. And that's valid. Feel the things. Acknowledge that you feel them. Always acknowledge that you fucking feel the things. And then remember, what are the facts? One of the things I remember this very vividly when I was telling her about this is that, Queen, like, I feel so ugly. I feel so unattractive. I don't feel like I'm worthy of love. Like, I don't feel it. I don't see the appeal. I don't see why people would like me. I don't get it. And I, of course, got really, really emotional, and she listened to me, and she's like, no, you know what? You feel that. That's real. You feel all that. Now, let me ask you something, Eric. I'm like, well, what is it? So you have a boyfriend, right? Yeah. You guys live together, right? Yeah. So I think you guys have been together for a little while, right? How long at this point? What was it, like almost 2 years at that point? Yeah, like 2 years at that point. And I'm like, yeah, we've been together for like 2 years. Well, factually, Eric, while your feelings are extremely valid, and we get it. I get why you feel it. We should acknowledge too, factually, if your partner who lives with you and loves you so much is there with you every single day, then it's possible for somebody to love you. If he can love you, others will love you. It's pure fact. I think it's embarrassing as fuck that I, at that point, like 30 years old, I barely acknowledge, like 29 years old, barely acknowledging, like, oh, No, there's your feeling and then there's fact. That's embarrassing as fuck. I mean, whatever. I mean, here we are now. Better late than never, I guess. But still, goddamn, it's too much. There's a lot that I fucking learned, and I want to take the opportunity to really talk about it. So you're listening to this now. We're about almost 10 minutes in, and I appreciate that. For those of you who don't know who I am, and I've been rambling about all this shit, my name is Eric Ornelas. At the time of this recording, I am 33 years old. I just turned 33, a little under a month ago. And this is going to be a journey, a really interesting one, and I'm very excited about it. I'm going to take the opportunity to talk about short stories from my life, reflect on my feelings, talk about random things, spill the fucking tea, I guess, and just keep it real with you. Because another thing I learned in therapy was to really love myself. I also learned in therapy, and this is also a recent occurrence, guys. I finished therapy 2 months ago, but towards the end of my journey in therapy, I also learned that it's okay to just be. I had such an interesting journey understanding what a good person is. And I do remember telling my therapist too that I am worried that I'm not a good person. I feel like an awful human being. I think I've done a lot of awful things in my life, and I feel like I'm trying really hard to be better for myself. I don't know why. I just can't feel normal. I just can't feel good about myself in any facet. And now that we're here, it's been 2 years, 2 months after therapy, I've come to the realization that people are complex. People are nuanced. People are allowed to just be. Good and bad is a spectrum. Of course, there are really bad people in the world and really fucking good people. And I'm allowed to just be who I am. And that is so goddamn freeing. It's embarrassing as shit to say, I'm 33 years old and I just now realized it's okay to be myself. Oh God, that is so goddamn cringe. Whatever. But no, I got here. I'm here now. I'm so happy to be here now. And I'm so happy to be talking about it. As embarrassing as it is, and it's just going to get worse. Oh God. Well, I want to end this off, at least for now, by letting you know that therapy works. I will be talking more about it. I want to share more about what I've learned and let you know that, when you go into therapy, go in with a good headspace. Go in with, not with a good headspace because you're all fucked up. No, when you go into therapy, go in with the mindset of, I want to understand why I feel what I feel. I want to understand why I act the way I act, or whatever the question is, go in with a goal. Your goals may be different than mine. I don't know. Go in wanting to work on yourself and understand yourself. I think understanding yourself is probably a good starting point, because people go their entire life living and acting and feeling a certain way, or whatever the case may be, and then not knowing for a long time that maybe that's not healthy. Maybe there's a better way to go about it that doesn't hurt myself, or whatever it is, So I'm going to end it off. I keep saying I'm going to end it off. I'm really going to end it off by saying thank you so much for listening. And I hope that you continue to listen in. My name's Eric, and this has been Please See Above. Thank you for listening to the Please See Above podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Eric Appleseed. I'm Eric Ornelas, the creator, executive producer, and host of Please See Above. This podcast is recorded in Glendora, California. Music is by Juan Avitia. Be sure to check out new episodes every Wednesday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.